Hello again. Last week, shortly after recording the previous Midweek moments, I was sitting at my table facing away from the patio doors when an enormous bang like a gunshot made me jump from my chair to find that this had happened. One of the patio doors had shattered into thousands of pieces as the result of a stone being thrown up by a strimmer used by a member of the maintenance team who were cutting the grass. Thankfully, it will be replaced soon. But what is more, it set me thinking. Very often, the only time we hear the word shattered used these days is when someone is very tired or exhausted. Yet its prime meaning still remains to describe the brokenness that happens suddenly, explosively, and results in a myriad of pieces. And as I looked again at the shattered glass, I was struck, no pun intended, by the tiny crystals of glass sparkling in the sunlight spread along and around the fault lines of the impact. It was opaque, but beautiful in its brokenness. And the words of Graham Kendrick's song, God of the Poor, came to mind. The first line of which is beauty for brokenness, reflecting the words of the prophet Isaiah, a crown of beauty instead of ashes. These were also some of the words Jesus read aloud at the Capernaum synagogue as he announced his mission manifesto. The Lord has anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom to the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favour and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn, and to provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of gladness instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. Would Jesus foresee in these words his broken body? If it wasn't broken, would we have experienced divine love, forgiveness, and mercy? Without brokenness, would we have been like the self-righteous Pharisee, who prided himself in his goodness? Or do we identify with the brokenness of the tax collector, who beat his breast and cried out, God, have mercy on me, a sinner? Over 5 decades ago, 2 young captains by the name of Gowans and Larson wrote a musical entitled Takeover Bid, in which the youth leader, John, recognized his need to surrender his life completely to God's purposes. He sang, shatter my own design, shaping a plan divine. Come to this heart of mine, Saviour again. Beauty for brokenness indeed. Let's use these words as our reflective prayer together in these moments. God bless us, everyone.